Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host Lipstickpaddy, and we're looking at the Ancient Blood, the Order of Vampire Hunters. Now, this is by Darkgate Games. There you go. Those covered them last time on Kickstarter with the Neomorphosis Infestation, which is still waiting to come out. Like every Kickstarter almost feels like in the last 3 years. Due to the Chinese limbo nonsense that's happening. But hey, Darkgate Games then, for me, they're like a middleware company. They're not indie and they're not in the premiership of Kickstarter or Gamefound yet. Neomorphosis Infestation perhaps will push them higher, getting close to the Premier League, but there's a good opportunity here for them because this IP is their own from 5 years ago, and this is like a 2.0 version of it. In fact, it's closer than a 2.0 than you might think, because you can bring these heroes into the original game. And controversially, in my eyes, if you have the original game, you can bring the big monsters or the elders into this game. They won't be as strong as they've said, but they could be used as mini bosses. And the big question then is, why didn't you just come out at the beginning and say you could do that? Because having mini bosses only available if you have the original game seems to be like I'm missing something from the main game. That's kind of the worry for me. They've said you can buy the old box and all the expansions, but your pledge is like firing upwards at around $500 then, or something. Could be as crazy as that. So I don't understand why they're not just bringing the elders from 5 years ago, maybe with upgraded miniatures, because mini bosses in this game would be really, really cool. No? Anyway, let's go down, because there is much improvements here in this version. So, I mean, the first game was like long. When you're playing part of the campaign, it was like long, and make no bones about it, this is a longish game. It's interesting up here, they've got playtime 24 hours is what they've got. I don't want to know how long the campaign is. You're telling me that one session takes 24 hours. I want to know the playtime if it's going to be a session, because it could be 2 to 3 hours, the campaign, which, you know, might not be too bad anyway for people. You know, if you've played campaign games, they normally do take that time, right? It's not just vampires, though. It's like vampires crossed with Hellraiser, crossed with Necromunda. Demons and that have come from like the pit of hell, or the underworld is a more accurate description. Anyhow, they've certainly up-resed the boards. In fact, the boards do look deliciously grotesque, and I don't know why they don't put more on this as a feature, because it really sells this, because it is such an improvement from the original game. I have another concern actually with the game, and it's the village mode. There is a part when you're not going in the dungeon, you're actually going to a village where you'll be kind of shopping or crafting and things like this, and it's just a deck of cards put out on the table. Why is there no map for the village? It's abstract to have this beautiful art in the campaign, and then no village. Like in the updates, it was like the village is just a set of cards put out on the table, and I don't know why there's no village board. It's like it doesn't tie together, and I think that's another kind of thing that was overlooked by the dev team, and I think they kind of need to bring it in, really. Because everything's got beautiful boards, and then you just got cards on the table, and it's kind of weird. Yeah. Now, it says the story is multiple choice structure, meaningful narrative, and there is going to be character development and player control over the evolution. They have when you're activating abilities that are very strong, you're basically injecting yourself with vampire blood, and there's a risk that you may turn into a vampire. This was part of the original game. If you lost your health, you'd pop into a vampire and then attack people around the table with you. Here, it can actually happen just by pushing the luck too much, I guess. Now, it says solo, and yes, you can, but the game is said to be very hard, and you'll have to have 4 people. So if you're soloing it, it's going to be like managing 4 characters. These characters have their own items and their own abilities, so it's going to be kind of a head scratcher. That is something to consider if you think you could solo this game. Because, you know, in Mansions of Madness, you can play that solo, but it's the app helps you a lot there, and you certainly don't. You can do it with 1 character, but here you need 4. And here there's a lot going on. There's more going on with each character, so I don't know. It seems a little bit weird that they just couldn't lower the difficulty down for less players. I don't understand whether they just say, no, you just play with 4. But it is what it is, isn't it? If you know that, you just need to know that going in. Now, there is the aspect of helping locals using your skills. There is going to be some skill checks. In fact, the main difference between the characters here and the original game is that there's new attributes for them to do these checks, and there is, now at least, an upgrade pack. I don't know why the upgrade pack wasn't on day 1. It's another kind of strange thing that happened during the campaign so far, the kind of feeling out what people want. This finding the clues that will lead you to the master, this has almost been inspired by Oathswarm, I think, this aspect of finding clues. That's good to see that they're looking at the other big Kickstarters and thinking their game could benefit from this kind of thing. And I think it's a really cool part of it that you're doing this. I guess this is this village part of the game. But in Oathswarm, you have wonderful village maps, don't you? And here, it's just cards around the table. You can see that this is my biggest beef with the game. And I guess it's not that bad. And hey, they might produce this anyway. Now, it's coming in fairly steep, isn't it? 180 then for the boxes. So what are you getting in these boxes? It's pushing these pledges high. You can $1 pledge, by the way. They have announced this, so let's see where it goes. I think you just have to put 1 in here and add to pledge, and that's it. You will be able to upgrade, of course, later on. There's going to be 27 stretch goals. It's almost fully unlocked. It's unknown what it'll do after that. People are requesting some daily unlocks because there's been a lull in the campaign. That's because it's a really long campaign and it's going over Christmas and New Year. It's like an extra lull in the middle of the campaign. Minis, though, looking a step up as well. I mean, the Neomorphous minis as well, hopefully, are coming out like this as well. They recently did an update on Neomorphosis, and it was looking very, very good. The components here are getting thicker as well, so this is all good to see. The upgrade pack as well, $15, is really reasonable. But we have seen other Kickstarters, like Teneris Adventures, that were giving this for free, right? if you got the 1.5, you would get the upgrade pack for free. It's a little bit stingy. The 3D tokens seems expensive. It was like this also with, yes, Borderlands. They were selling terrain packs where you were only getting a little bit of terrain, and it was like $30. So I guess 15 is cheap compared to Borderlands. And I love how the terrain pack, it comes in multiple languages. What? It doesn't... multiple languages for a terrain pack? Are you kidding me? What's going on here? Very odd, isn't it? It's 3D tokens, though. There's going to be tokens on the map. This replaces the tokens. This is like a needed accessory. And I'm not sure why they've not stretched the 3D token pack. There may be some dailies yet. There might be some extra stretch goals put in. We don't know, but it would put more value to this pledge, and I hope we get something else. But in fact, there's one thing I would love to see, and it's a door, right? Because when you're traveling through the map, you put counters down for the door. I'd like to see a door put down. That'd be nice. So here are the characters. They've got that almost Victorian feel, Necromunda feel. Monsters then look like they're from Hellraiser. Certainly the bosses look like they're from Hellraiser. The elders, though, much stronger. These are like the bosses in the game, and they are looking horrific. 10 double-sided maps. They really have impressed me with the maps. They look absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be great to play in. And they've got that nice Mansions of Madness feel where the rooms have all these massive shapes for you to move in. So there's like little shapes to go in, bigger shapes to go in on the map. I really like that aspect of it. Now the Hunter ID sheets, not too happy with the black background, because can you not put them in the world? We've not actually got any pictures apart from the boxes what the world looks like, but like, can you not put them in the village? Can you not put them with the moon? Can you not put the world that they're in the background here? I don't know. I'm a big fan of World of Warcraft, and if I logged into World of Warcraft and didn't see my character with the world behind them and it was just black like this, I would be like, what's going on here? Where's the world behind them? I like to see that in character boards and stuff like that. Anyhow. So for me, it almost goes away from vampire and it goes into demons. I mean, I'm not exactly looking for vampire teeth when I'm looking at these, you know what I mean? The kind of straight from the underworld, right? Card-wise, though, 48 abilities. Interesting. Powerful is going to be powerful as well. 80 cards. There's definitely going to be shops. This is the village. 6 church cards. 40 shop cards, Emporium. House cards. This is investigation. Inn cards, investigation. Blacksmith for crafting. Black market cards for probably expensive stuff. And path cards. So it's this kind of card play. You're going from campaign, beautiful tiles, and then this on the table. It wouldn't be so bad if it had a board. There you go. Some custom dice. They look very square, don't they? And we do prefer rounded corners in crowdfunding, so this is a little bit... is it going to be stretched? The tokens here. Doors, by the way. Is there going to be doors? 3D doors. Now, so the expansions are putting more stories in. There is some one-shot stories to do. The Terror book sounds phenomenal as well, as it's going to be more bosses and stuff, more maps. And I think this is what you want from an expansion. You want more stories. You've got more heroes. You've got more bosses, and you've got more of this beautiful art. This is great. Again, I'd like to see an update on these character boards. I don't think they're doing the IP justice, having just the background being black. Because here, you can see the Elder sheet, and he looks like he's in some kind of room with a portal gate behind him. That looks cool. Why can't you do that for the heroes? It's give it the same treatment. Put them inside the world. It would look fantastic. So this expansion's fantastic, right? It's giving you more story, new characters, bosses, more character art, and it's giving you more cards for the game, right? You're buffing out the village section of the game, which sounds fantastic. You're really pushing the replayability. This is phenomenal upgrade. Now then, the add-ons. There's a lot of them, actually. The Elder ones, this is, you know, do you want another boss? Do you want to have another story? This is the early bird, and really you've got too many characters, as it is. And these don't really float my boat, really. Which is a good thing, because I've missed it. And I don't want to pay $25 for 3 minutes. That's excessive, isn't it? Upgrade pack. There's the terrain pack. It says a new set of rules with this. So it does have language support. There's new rules. Okay. Now, the stretch goals are better here because you can kind of see them bigger. And they just get more weird, don't they? It's like moving away from vampire. Just upgrading the components of more monsters and cards coming out and what you might expect other than extra terrain. 3D doors. I mean, this guy, look, from Hellraiser, right? These ID rings as a stretch goal. Is it me, or should that not just be part of the box? This is a weird one, isn't it, for 350. More path cards and tarot entries. Sounds great. So is there something missing? There is. And it's crossovers. Darkgate have been great because there's a lot of companies that are middleware and they all like to collaborate and they all like to do crossovers. Where's the crossovers? And more cards here for a game that we just stretched. Now, the gameplay sounds okay. It's this example here where you can see the cards on the table at the village. It just looks uninspired. Can you not do better than that? Can we not just have a board where you put these cards down and you can see the village art around it? Is it so difficult? It's $180 and you can't put a board. I mean, I would pay the money just to put a village board down. It's my biggest beef with it. Mm-hmm. This is good. You've got the crafting down here, putting all these parts to get a new weapon. Love that. Up here, we've got using his abilities and don't use too many of them because you'll turn into a vampire. That has to be a game mechanic in a vampire game, that you can turn into a vampire, doesn't it? And the combat is meaty. It's interesting, strategic. You'll like it. Watch the playthroughs. It feels good. This is 2.0. They've refined the base game and it's better for it. It has been streamlined. We've got a good picture here of a boss battle looking sweet. Little concern about the beta rulebook because it's almost the same rulebook as the original game. So this is like alpha rulebook for this. I don't know, they should have put alpha on it because there would have been less expectations. Beta should look nearer finishing, but little concern. There is some concern about that in the comments. But hey, there's videos aplenty you can watch here. Please take note of the giant black void on the character boards, which really needs to be fixed. And of course, the village part of the game. Minis look nice painted, don't they? And yeah, hopefully Neomorphosis turns out to be great. And this will... You see, that's my biggest concern. They've come out before Neomorphosis was finished. And, you know, that's nothing to do with Dark Games. That's just the crisis with producing games and stuff. But the company would have had a bit more fame to bring this out. And I think it should be doing better. I would have expected it to have done better. They're looking epic though when they're painted, aren't they? Look at this stuff. It's Necromunda like, but better, right? Just the beautiful shading on this artist, what they've done is just great. Alright. Shipping's almost... Oh, it's like is it copy and pasted from Simon? Like this outrageous shipping table. And why is Africa and the rest of the world part of the US? I've no idea. And frankly, if it's $20 to $45 in Canada, why is it more expensive? In the US, like cheapest in Canada, $20. Cheapest in the US, $28. Where's that coming from? And I don't appreciate Mexico being in Latin America when it's not. It's part of the US and Canada trade agreement. And that's why I have to kind of go in on minimum pledges when they pull this crap. Because we're not in the same region as Latin America. And they just throw us in there for fun, isn't it? However, I'm tentatively still concerned. I want to see 3D doors and I want to see a village board to make me happy. And I want to see some crossovers. That's kind of interesting when they do that. And certainly mid-campaign, those crossovers would be good, wouldn't they? Because you get more outreach to the campaign on the other Kickstarters and all that good stuff. I can't remember though, has a Kickstarter crossover happened on Gamefound? I'm not sure if it's allowed. And there might be reasons for that. I don't think there would be reasons for that. But there's 15 days left, peeps. It's already gone through half. We're in mid-campaign now, so 2 stretch goals left. Let's see where it goes. There is definitely room to kind of fix my problems. I don't think they're impossible to fix. And remember, peeps, there's going to, 8,000 people still following this. We're getting emails all the time from these people, and we can easily come back here and unfollow. So there's lots of people going to wait until the final. So I wouldn't be too worried about it going bigger. I really expect it to go over 500,000, and who knows where it goes from then. They may have done better on Kickstarter, and isn't that interesting? Would games have done better on Kickstarter? I'll probably talk about that on my radio podcast. The broadcast podcast at the weekend on Sunday. I might talk a little bit about that, but who knows? We shall see. So yeah, let me know what you think. Ancient Blood, the Order of Vampire Hunters, come back as a 2.0, looking absolutely fantastic, but I still have a few concerns, so I can't recommend it yet. I just think the price you're paying, they could have at least put a board for the village, get some door 3D terrain, and all that good stuff. And let's hope we get some more interesting stuff like crossovers and stuff like this. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. This, of course, is Kickstarter Radio 102.4. Please like the video and think about subscribing. And do check out our worst Kickstarters of 2021. This video is coming out on Friday, New Year's Eve, in fact. So yeah, that's going to be a great video. So yeah, all the best. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.